so many founders have so much trouble admitting that they have too many things on their plate. I mean, I will never forget a conversation I had with a founder who basically told me that this is actually a funny one. His team reached out to me because they wanted the founder to use Chore. They wanted Chore for their company because the founder was running all operations and he was messing everything up and missing the deadlines because he didn't have enough. We got on a call and he says, I don't need you guys. I'm founder. I can work 100 hours a week, no problem. Get everything done, run operations, and do everything else I need to do. The funny thing is that I was actually interested in their product too. So I almost on the call kind of became a potential customer. He said, I'll follow up with more information to get things going. It took him 3 weeks to follow up to potentially close the sale with me. But he didn't get that he couldn't work 100 hours a week and get it all done. And yet I'm sure his company has failed at this point because he was too stubborn to admit that he had too many things on his plate. His team recognized it, but he did not. And he couldn't even follow up on sales leads, let alone find time to admit that he should delegate.
So this is where good coaching questions can lead to introspection. Having others admitting to their own faults is almost an impossible task. A good question would be asked like, hey, all right, cool. And I'm not saying you didn't ask that, I just don't have the context, but I'm assuming, let's say, oh, cool. Like last time we spoke was 3 weeks ago. Is there anything could have been done to speak earlier, right? Or let's say when they told you that they will be able to do everything themselves, so they work 100 hours, and you say, okay, you work 100 hours for the current capacity. Do you know at which point it might start breaking? Like, let's say you have 50 people now, maybe it started breaking at 100 people, 150, like you cannot work 200 hours a week, right? So at which point do you think your system is going to start breaking? Not accusing him of anything, but having them walk that plank and tell you when that breaks up. Now, I don't know if he's going to be right or wrong, but it's going to start the thought process he's had that like, oh, okay, so even though I'm working really hard and I'm doing all these things, it's not scalable.
And yeah, it's making sure you, once again, going back to your key point, right? Asking all the right questions as much as you can. How often do you find in your coaching work, like founders resist the more pragmatic advice that you have, right? Like, and what does resistance in a sense tell you about their leadership maturity?
I think I never offer pragmatic advice because it's never received.
They mean because they need to get to that state themselves, not hear you.
Correct. So, but also I can share my experience. In a sense, I accept that their context is never mine, but it is welcomed when I offer in my context, with my company, with my people, this what has worked. Now, there's no way 100% is going to work in your way, but see what I'm telling you and borrow any of the elements which might work for you. Now, this is not a saying like, you got to do it this way. This is the best way to do it, because that causes the most resistance, because it comes without knowledge of their context. But if I'm inviting them into my world, into my experience, and letting them pick the things that work for me, sometimes they hit that share and they go on. Or another way, if I feel like I know the right answer, I will ask them through the questions so they can arrive to that answer themselves. Because we as humans are much more certain of the answer if our own logical chains come into that. Because also otherwise, if the advice that you give is kind of wrong and it doesn't work, they blame you for giving that advice because it's disconnected from any logical chain that they have put together, and they cannot mitigate that because they don't have that experience.
And of course, there's no way they're going to have some of these experiences without actually just having, I mean, you can't, unless you use transfers, so you can't really help force them to have the experience. What separates founders who grow rapidly through coaching from those who sort of plateau and can't get further along with it?
Practice. So if one word I have to kind of say there, going back to Sahil Bloom, it's like action and practice. The more things you practice, the more you fail, the more experiment, the more data you generate back, the more feedback you generate of how to now do it better in a way that is aligned with your outcomes. And if you don't practice, and if you postpone making changes or making experiments or running those experiments, nothing will change.